Hey there, Middle Earth Strategy Battle Gamers. So today I'm going to be doing a follow-up video on the Osgiliath starter set. So we had a big reveal yesterday, a live stream, and it was a lot of information, a lot of new stuff that was announced. And I wanted to talk about each of these things individually in separate videos because I actually have a lot of ideas and opinions of how the game could, what direction the game could be going and things of that nature. So the first video I'm going to do is actually going to be on the Battle for Osgiliath starter set. So I'm going to start the video by saying my opinions and stuff are pretty much unaffected by any kind of outside things. So basically, I really like this starter set for several reasons. And I'm going to start with the first one being I actually think the armies that are in it are actually really good for a starter set. So, Games Workshop has in the past, they're kind of, each of their game systems have kind of a flagship army. So for instance, Warhammer 40k, it's the Space Marines. Warhammer Age of Sigmar, it's the Stormcast Eternals kind of thing. And I think that Minas Tirith honestly really fits that bill very well to be a flagship army, because it's an army that a newer player can pick up and not have that learning curve per se that other armies would have. And that was honestly one of my biggest criticisms for the Pelennor Fields box set. I love Rohan. Rohan's my main army. I've been playing them for 16 years. But it's a kind of a niche army in the way you play it. It's very powerful in this edition, but it's you have to plan your moves in advance, turns in advance. How leave these guys over here and stuff. So I think that having the Warriors of Minas Tirith and the Rangers of Osgiliath is a good call. And then the same thing really goes to Mordor. I think that it also kind of fits that flagship build. Because you don't have that hard learning curve that other armies would have. It's a relatively easy army. The Moran and Oryx, the Warriors of Minas Tirith, are great army building kind of units. And then it includes the Troll. So point number 2 is I really like how the starter set includes a battle mat and how it includes terrain. I really advocate for starter sets coming with terrain. The battle mat's an added bonus. I recently got into bolt action, and the starter set for bolt action came with it was one piece of terrain, but it was nice that it came with it, basically. So in the past, I know that Battle of Pelennor Fields I don't think came with any terrain. No, it actually didn't. Goblin Town came with a little bit of terrain. The Balin's Tomb, of course, came with some terrain. So I think it's just a good thing, especially since this is brand new, never been seen Ruins of Osgiliath. I think that me being one of them would be a player who would buy this to get the ruins and to get some of the new plastic heroes. And kind of talking about the heroes real fast, I would like to say I actually think that these are really good hero picks for this starter set. So I know that because I did buy the Battle of the Pelennor Fields box set when it came out, and we played a few of the scenarios, and Mounted Witch King versus Theoden, it's thematic for the Pelennor Fields, I get it, but the Witch King can pretty easily handle Theoden in many scenarios, and it kind of leads to one of those, is the Witch King about to assassinate my Theoden? And Theoden's a big buffer for your riders. And I do realize that this is a starter set, so it's intended for newer players to pick it up, but to me, if someone who's played any other game system, let's just say they've never played a Lord of the Rings game, or they haven't played Lord of the Rings in a long time, and they're returning to it, the Witch King is a pretty powerful piece to have in a set versing Theoden. So for this, you have Madril, Damrod, and Faramir, and then you have Gothmog. And I'm going to assume that there are going to be some scenarios where Gothmog is not on his warg, or there will be scenarios where he is, because there are going to be little sub-scenarios in that book that comes with it. And I think that especially with the Rangers, and that all the Ranger heroes, Faramir, Madril, and Damrod have bows, they can take Gothmog off his warg relatively easily. And in terms of Gothmog being out-heroed, you have the Troll. I'm sure there'll be scenarios where you're going to have to fight the Troll and Gothmog. And then also to counteract is Madril and Damrod, those two heroes. They're not necessarily the strongest heroes in Middle-earth. Damrod's he's one of the weaker heroes in the game. And then Gothmog has this Master of Battle rule to help counteract the amount of might that the opposition would have. So I think that the hero picks for this starter set are actually really good for that. I think they're relatively balanced. I could see them being played in several different ways. Like you charge Gothmog in against Damrod, kill him, or you charge Faramir into Gothmog, or you charge Faramir into the Troll. So I think it lends itself to a lot of different viable options for both players. So I don't think they talked about a price for the box set. I'm gonna guess, because the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, when it initially came out, was $150, which at the time was a really good price, considering that the Witch King, the Rulebook, and the Cave Troll pretty much matched the price for it. I'm gonna guess, and I do think that the starter set did go up in price. Quite a few things went up in price. I think like 2020. So I think that it's either going to be 100. It's going to start, and I'm talking about U.S. dollars. But I think that it's going to probably either be $175 to $185. I don't see it being $200. It could be. I just don't see that being a viable price range, because I know that the new Horus Heresy was $223, I think, I want to say, but I don't see this box set being that much, for several reasons. One being is Middle-earth has never been a very expensive game system to get into. It's been relatively cheap throughout the years, like kind of historically. Number two is that a lot of the contents in this box are old models, which is one thing I kind of want to talk about here in a minute. But the Cave Troll, the Morannon Orcs, and the Warriors/Rangers of Minas Tirith are older models, and they probably can produce them cheap, or they have a supply of them already in stock to make these box sets. If I had to guess, something along those lines. And I don't think, I know that quite a few people were talking about, why aren't we getting new plastic models? I think that the focus for the Middle-earth team and kind of how the game is going to be moving forward is going to be new plastic heroes. I don't think that we're probably ever going to see a new plastic troop choice for a very long time, possibly ever. And I'll make a video about the Last Alliance stuff. That might be the case for that, but the new Gothmog and the new 3 plastic heroes, I think, would kind of also help maybe veteran players buy this starter set. I know that, like my brother Dan, he plays Minas Tirith, and he really liked those models. And the new Gothmog looks cool. The only thing criticism-wise I'd have on the Gothmog is the warg's neck. Um, Looks kind of funky to me. But other than that, it could just be the angle that it was that picture was filmed in. But so I talked about. Um, so I also want to talk about the future on how the game will be evolving. So the rulebook, uh, I'm just kind of going off the information I have. It says it's an updated rulebook. I don't think it's going to be a new edition of the game. So, we had the Big Blue rulebook. We had the Unexpected Journey rulebook. And then we had the 2018 edition, the Middle Earth strategy battle game. We very well could get a new edition. I don't think so. I really don't like, in terms of how the game is now, I think it's perfect. So I think basically the updated rulebook is going to be all the erratas in it. That's basically, I think, what the updated rulebook is going to be. I imagine they'll probably have it for sale as well after the starter set comes up, and I imagine that Gothmog, the Rangers, and the Osgiliath terrain will eventually be for sale. So, but I do think it's a really good box set. I mean, you got two armies that I think can be kind of flagship armies for the game. And not to mention, another thing I wanted to kind of jump into as kind of a side tangent in this video is the battle host armies coming out. Mordor and Osgiliath, or sorry, Minas Tirith, both have battle hosts, is what the box sets are called. So a new player getting in, let's say two siblings or two friends buy the box set, and then they could each buy a battle host to really buff up their armies. And I think that's a great way to get new players into the game. I don't know, one of the things that, to me, that's kind of hindered Lord of the Rings from growing even further is the fact that I know, like, in my area, there's 3 Games Workshops, the store, and for a limited time they had like a stand with the Middle Earth stuff in it, and then after, I don't know, it was about a year, it was pretty much limited to nothing. So actually, I want to know in the comments below, do the local Games Workshop stores for you guys carry Middle Earth products? Because I'm a marketing major in college, and I'm thinking, if someone walks into a Games Workshop and they produce this Lord of the Rings game, you might be interested. If there is shelf space allocated towards just the battle hosts and the battle for Osgiliath, I think that'd be perfect. I mean, just those things alone. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know like what the situation is with that, because I do know that for a while, because it is a specialist game, which I know that they've had specialist games in the past, like Blood Bowl and stuff. But B, it was also a web store exclusive for a long time. I'm not really sure on this situation currently for Middle Earth, but I would like to see the new starter set in stores, retail stores, and the battle host as well. So I do think that this starter set, though, is excellent. I can't really nitpick too much about it. I think that the new plastic heroes look cool, except for the neck on the warg kind of looks goofy. But again, that could just be the angle of the shot. And so, if you guys, I'm going to be posting a few more reactions to the live stream. So if you guys want to subscribe and check those out. So enjoy your Middle Earth hobby. I'll see you guys in the next video.